Hi, I'm Will, and this is my TechFluent individual project. For the agenda today, we're going to talk about introduction and scenario, the primary goals and problem, process, solution. We are going to demo, summary, and then questions. So starting off, the Contoso and scenario. Contoso is a small retail business that sells a variety of goods in its 2 storefronts located in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the scenario. As a manager of Contoso, I need to be able to understand volume of sales, transactions, and returns by store. I would also like to understand our sales and profit metrics by salesperson. The primary goals and problem. Improving their business process, create a better customer employee experience, and increase sales. Understanding amount of sales and transactions by store and the profit per salesperson. And the problem, as a manager of Contoso, I need to be able to understand volume of sales, transactions, and returns by store. I would also like to understand our sales and profit metrics by salesperson. The process I went with was finding the KPI, which is the key performance indicators, are points that the manager needs to understand to maximize his store's value and to easily distinguish his store performances. And with finding the KPI, I came to the realization that we need data. The volume of sales transactions, returns by store, sales by salesperson, and profit metrics. The solution I found was Power BI. The manager of Contoso will have a better understanding and insight of the company's data using Microsoft Power BI by creating visible data. With using Power BI, the manager will be able to increase store performance with seeing live data. Which salesperson are underperforming or exceeding expectations, which products are being sold the most, and what items are being returned to the store more frequently. And then I am going to be switching over to my demo. Let me know if you guys can see this.
Yep.
Perfect. So I did overview of sales. So I started off with the total amount of sales, and I got this information from the sales template as well that TechFluent had given us. And so I implemented the data and added it imported from the Excel sheet that I had with the sales template, and copy and pasted all of the data into the Power BI application. And with each thing, so for the top 4, I went to sales, I added it into the fields, and then from here you are able to pick graphs and other things to make it visibly pleasing. So I chose card. So the card shows the sales amount total, and it gets right to the point and shows the max amount of sales. The next thing I used was quantity of product, which is 38,000, and I did the exact same thing, and I picked the card. The next is the net profit of all the sales, which is 286K, and that same thing, profit into cards. And then the amount of returns. The next thing I did was sales by category. And this one was moving category into the legend to put it up top. That shows that this is the sales by category. And then for the values, we did the total amount of sales. And the sales in the Microsoft Excel document were categorized with technology, furniture, and office supplies. And each category had its own sales margin. The next I went by was sales by agent and region. And with the agent, they are the salesperson for that certain region, which was central, east, south, and west. So I put that into the y-axis on top to implement that so everyone can see it. And then the next, for the x-axis, I did the total amount of sales that each salesperson did. So this is the total amount of sales that each salesperson did. And then with region, I put in the legend that shows the region and the amount of sales. And for the next one, sales profit and category. For sales profit and category, I used a clustered column chart. So I put the category into the x-axis that shows the category in the bottom, and the subcategory also for the technology, furniture, and office supplies. And then for the y-axis, we used the sales amount total, and then the profit that each technology, furniture, and office supplies did. And then back to my presentation. For summary, working through implementing data and creating visible, pleasing graphs, I realized that understanding Power BI can help change a company. The outdated Excel sheets can be confusing and take up a lot of unneeded space. The data I worked with was a sample template. I wish I was able to export data from the SQL to import into Power BI, which would have forced me to use more knowledgeable methods. That was my biggest challenge, but also learned a lot from researching and how to use Azure. The demo itself could be more tasteful. I left it rather bland to get straight to the numbers and face the problem the manager was having. Creating more visuals of sales predictions with regions and categorizing the products being sold could have been something I could have done better. Questions?